Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone had a beautiful, wonderful, sexy, romantic, whatever floats your boat, Valentine's Day. Whatever you like, I hope that's what you got. I didn't do shit, and it was fantastic. So this week is Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week. And it goes from the 15th to the 21st. And in the spirit of the week, I'm going to talk about aromantic orientations, because there's actually quite a lot of them along the spectrum. I'm not going to get into all of them and defining all of them, but I do think it's important to talk about a few, like the benchmark ones. And then I'm going to go into my thoughts about romanticism, because I do identify on the aromantic spectrum. So I talked about it before, that I identify as panromantic, and that's definitely true, but panromanticism kind of just refers to the people that I'm potentially attracted to. And so it's anyone of any gender. But it doesn't really get into the frequency or the intensity or like magnitude of romantic attraction that I experience. And so I think it's important to talk about the aromantic spectrum, because I personally don't experience romantic attraction all that frequently or all that intensely. So, to first start off, the definition of aromanticism. So, aromanticism is a spectrum. You go from true aromanticism, where you are not romantically attracted to anyone of any gender, to the other side, what the fuck romanticism, which is really, really interesting. People who are what the fuck romantic have difficulty kind of differentiating between romantic attraction and sexual or platonic or aesthetic attraction to other people. I find that's really, really interesting, just because I am so regimented, so in a box with my romantic attraction, that I just can't imagine being attracted romantically to my friends, or I don't know. It's just interesting. I find it super interesting, and the people that identify as what the fuck romantic are cool as fuck. Okay, so you have, aromanticism on one side, we have what the fuck romanticism on the other side, and then a whole bunch of other shit in between. And so demi-romanticism is, I would say it's pretty close to being smack dab in the middle, where someone who is demi-romantic, it's similar to demisexual, where they have to have an intense emotional connection with someone before they are romantically attracted to them. Cool. Gray romantic, I would say that it's closer to being aromantic. It's closer towards aromantic on the spectrum. And gray romantic is, I don't know, it's difficult to define, just because people define it differently based on how they experience romantic attraction. For me, it is kind of a low intensity romantic attraction and infrequent romantic attraction. And so I'm not frequently attracted to people romantically. I would say that I might have been romantically attracted to, within my life, maybe, I'm gonna give a good estimate, 10 people, like that I'm thinking of. Maybe less. Probably less, but I'm gonna go with 10. And then the intensity of my attraction it fluctuates, but it's usually not all that strong. Not that I quickly drop people that I am romantically attracted to. Quite the opposite. I hang on to them for a very long time because they become familiar to me. But I tend not to experience deep romantic attractions to people, though I do experience very, very fucking deep platonic attraction. And even that, and even platonic attraction, I don't experience it all that often. But anyway, along the spectrum, there are a lot of other different types of romantic attraction, but I'm going to go ahead and get into, I'm sorry, I didn't mention yours, I'm sorry, but I want to go ahead and get into my thoughts about romantic attraction and being gray romantic. And so, I am not particularly a romantic person. When I think of things that are romantic, I think of, cuddling, hugging, kissing, holding hands, public displays of affection. I am very fucking weird about public displays of affection, because when I was younger, I had tactile problems. I didn't like to be touched. like at all, like at fucking all. Don't touch me. I would like either cower or I would lash out at people, and I've gotten a lot better about it because my mom, in her ever problem-solving fashion, tried to desensitize me against being touched, and it absolutely worked. I am absolutely desensitized by it, but I have issues with it. I am a little bit repulsed by it sometimes. I would say that I'm not very actively romantic. I'm a passive romantic person, and so I have a fiance who is very much into tradition and convention and, you know, being lovey-dovey and romantic and stuff. And so I kind of humor him because I enjoy making him happy. And so the capacity of my romanticness is, it doesn't go so far to make me happy as it does to make my partner happy. And so I'm cool with doing whatever romantic thing you want to do, as long as it's, like, you know, with my consent. But I don't really get a whole lot out of it outside of, you know, making my partner happy. The way that I think about love, romantic love, is interesting because I had a conversation with my fiance about a week ago about love, and he asked me, what does it feel like to be in love? And for me, being the ever tactful person I am, I said that it wasn't all that different for me not being in love. And he wasn't really offended by it, but he was a bit taken aback by it. And I had to explain to him that, I mean, starting off in our relationship, I did have the butterflies. I did, you know, I was excited about seeing him. And I think that's mostly attributed to infatuation. And I did also have a good bit of sexual attraction. Well, not so much sexual attraction, but sex drive. I was more, my libido was definitely higher when I met him. And I think it's mostly because sex was a new thing to me. But also, love was a new thing to me. And so, as I became more and more familiar with his existence in my life, romanticism became less of a factor to me. I definitely love my fiance. I am in love with my fiance. He is like the funniest person in my entire life, and I love spending time with him because he makes me laugh. But yeah, romantic attraction, like love and romantic attraction, is really interesting for me because I'm beginning to notice a trend in the people that I fall in love with. And romantic attraction kind of dwindles for me as time goes on. And so it's been 7.5 years. Holy shit. I've been with my fiance for 7.5 years. And the romantic attraction, I mean, it's still there. Like, I'm still romantically attracted to my fiance, I would say, to a degree, and it fluctuates. But I think it gives way to more platonic attraction, more familial, almost, where he is such a part of my life that, I mean, not having him would be devastating. Having him around is like being by myself, and I super enjoy it. And so, I don't know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. And that's why I'm not entirely certain of the gray romantic label that I've put on myself. But I think at the moment, that's what I'm most comfortable with. And I honestly don't really care. It did cause me a lot of issues talking about sexual attraction, but romantic attraction isn't a gigantic part of my life. And I mean, really, neither is sexual attraction, but it was something for me that needed to be addressed. While romantic attraction really isn't so much something that needs to be addressed, because it is what it is. But yeah, I'm rambling. I am definitely rambling. And so I just want to, I don't know, for everyone who sees this video, take this week out to think about romantic attraction, to think about how you feel about romanticism, because that's really what it's about, is to raise awareness. And not only think about romanticism, but think about platonic attraction, think about sexual attraction, because these things are all connected in some way. Think about all that stuff. Just jostle it around in your head, put it in a little box and shake it up and think about it. Like, really, take some time to think about it. I am telling you. Think about it. So yeah, have a great week, guys. I will have another video up probably this week because I wasn't expecting making a video about a romantic spectrum week because I didn't realize it was this week. Peace.